So you're here and you're listening to this presentation about mental health and wellness. You're taking that time for yourself. And I want you to just, for a moment, for all of us to recognize how revolutionary that actually is. In the history of humankind, the concept of mental health is relatively new. It's the field of psychology is only about 150 years old, and so it's new. It is here. We're doing this within a business setting, and we're doing that because there's been a remarkable change over the course of the last 20 years or so about how businesses treat their employees, how they take care of their employees, and how they implore people to take care of themselves. And so it's truly encapsulating this notion of human resources, understanding that employees are the true assets of a company and they need to be protected as such. On this first slide here, just want you to be able to take advantage of today. We're going to ask you to do some very personal things and try to create change in you. And we're going to hear some wonderful stories from Wayne and Ricky, who I've had the pleasure of getting to know a little bit over the past couple of weeks. If we go on the next slide here. Okay, so it's a little amazing to think that the concept of the 8-hour day is relatively new. This started in the 1800s, and it really was started by labor unions that were trying to implore upon their employees that, hey, we need to have what's called 8 hours in all respects. We're going to have 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, and 8 hours for whatever it is that you'd like to do, play. Now, you might be listening to this and thinking to yourself, wow, I tend to work far more than 8 hours, and that's true with most people. However, the concept of the 8-hour day gives us all a very good framework in which to understand how we might be able to approach our work and create a good work-life balance. So the concept of being working 8 hours a day is not a joke. That is something that we absolutely want you to think about and want you to embrace as much as possible. And more importantly, we're wanting you to embrace the idea of balance. So the idea of trying to create a wellness strategy for yourselves as IT professionals is a concept of revolution and evolution. And as my work as a psychologist, that's primarily what I'm seeing in people, is there needs to be some sort of period of revolution, and that oftentimes with somebody is a crisis. It is a health crisis, it's a mental health crisis, it's a friend coming up and saying to you, gee, I think you need help. It's you understanding that you're off balance. So what we want you to do today is to really understand what that crisis is for you and how you can evolve that into change that makes a difference. I'm reminded of a quote from, and this sort of dates me, but it's from the movie Jerry Maguire, and which was in 1996. And the character Jerry Maguire is talking about how his dad approached work. And he has this quote where he says, my dad worked for the United Way for 38 years. And you know what he said when he retired? He said, I wish they had given me a more comfortable chair. Well, thankfully, we are in a position where we can look at our work and we can have a relationship with our work that's a little bit more balanced than just hoping that we have a nice chair to sit in. And I do want you to think about how you approach work and create a demand upon yourself to put your mental health at the forefront of this. So let's share a little numbers about the IT administrators in particular. I've been working with folks in the IT world for years and years and years, and I want you to know that tech professionals are among the most likely employees in the country to suffer from mental health issues. And this is true as a result of the recent pandemic, but even prior to that. But let's back up for just a second and talk a little bit about some general statistics regarding employees in the workplace. According to OSHA, which is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, 43% of all adults suffer adverse health effects from stress. Think about that for a moment. 75% to 90% of all doctors' office visits are for stress-related ailments and complaints. These can be things like headaches, high blood pressure, heart problems, diabetes, skin conditions, asthma, arthritis. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. And the lifetime prevalence of an emotional disorder is more than 50%, often due to chronic, untreated stress reactions. In terms of IT professionals in particular, a couple of statistics that are really interesting that we have come across recently is that there was a study done, and let me just find it here, with over 1,000 IT professionals, and what they found is close to 50%, around 56% of IT professionals. This is from the Journal of Pharmacy and Bioallied Health Sciences. Over 56% had musculoskeletal symptoms related to stress. 22% had newly diagnosed hypertension. 10% had diabetes. 36% had high cholesterol that was related to stress. 54% had depression, anxiety, and insomnia, and 40% had obesity. Now, this is turning out to be a fairly depressing set of statistics, and I don't mean it to be. And I want to get us going here. Why is this important? This is important because you have the possibility to make changes in your life. And very frequently people will say to me, gosh, isn't it difficult to be a psychologist? You're dealing with people's problems all the time. But all I'm really doing, as Tony Robbins might say, is that I'm trying to awaken the giant within the person. Right? You have the wisdom, you have the ability to make changes in your life to actually go onto a health perspective. So these numbers are important. They're important for all of you. And as we're talking about your stress, and we're going to be talking about this with Wayne and Ricky as well, we're going to be, I would like to ask yourself, or you to ask yourself, are you a firefighter? Are you a fire chief? Or you're an arson investigator in terms of the problems that come across your desk as an IT professional?
Please subscribe and check out more content from us.